There are a lot of reasons to hate this event. The problems are very well documented, from the poorly thought out elevator freight system to SIG's fetish for physicalizing everything and not understanding how abstract systems work. I mean, really, what was wrong with the old cargo system? It was way better than this manual moving of everything else out there. And before you say realism, how many truckers in real life load and unload their own cargo? Probably not very many. But ignoring all that, there is one thing that SIG really demonstrates that they do not understand, which is player behavior, especially in an MMO gaming environment. There seems to be this idea that everything that they do or implement, players are going to be on their best behavior. They are not going to go out of their way to ruin the experience for others, or they're just going to behave. They're going to be very honorable, whatever you want to call it. That is not how the world works, and that is especially not how video games, MMOs in particular, work. If you give players the option or a way to hurt other players, there is a not so small portion of the player base that is going to take advantage of that and do it. I myself, within reason, am one of those people, so I am certainly qualified to speak on this. If you give me a way to screw over another player, there's a very good chance that I'm going to do it, especially if I stand to benefit and gain from it. This event, and how terrible it is a perfect example of that. Now, I know some people can't comprehend this idea that I can do the bad thing, but also speak out against the bad thing. Because in order for the bad thing to get fixed or addressed, people have to abuse the bad thing. There are a lot of threads up right now about people stealing cargo. Stealing cargo is a legitimate form of gameplay, but the way they do it is often illegitimate. For example, take this background footage right here. I am trying to get cargo out of the elevator for my ship, and this guy, I don't know where his ship is, all he is doing is trying to throw my cargo out into the distance. So, what did I do? Well, I guess I, quote-unquote, hired an escort, which happens to be a friend of mine in an Idris M, to come over and mess with him as the two of us are trying to knock each other down with boxes in armistice zone. This looks stupid, but this is what happens in this game. Because SIG, when they put a feature in the game, there's a question that they seem to not ask. And that question is, how are players going to abuse this to hurt other players? Because if they asked that question, they would fully understand that the systems they have now, with the way freight works, and cargo works, and armistice works, and damn near everything else works in this game, it's not going to work in a live MMO environment with jerks, which is what most people online are. This is not a new concept. This has been going on since Ultima Online. If people can ruin another player's experience, they are going to do it. Take a look at this clip, for example. I am not stealing the cargo out of people's elevators because I think that's kind of lame, but what I am doing is I'm camping this mining outpost with an interdictor, other players in my org, and we are killing people that are leaving. They can't get out, they can't defend themselves, there's nothing they can do. We are destroying them and then stealing their cargo and leaving, and then we're doing it rinse and repeat. Is the solution here to also hire an escort? Maybe, but the damage is already done, and there's no systems in place for this game to hire an escort to begin with. The reality is that Star Citizen is a game, it's an MMO game, or claims to be an MMO game, that is being made by amateurs in the MMO world. You could take that however you want. That can upset you, that could be offensive to you, but I'm telling you what it really is. Because a veteran of MMO gaming and MMO design would see all of these problems, and they would say this is not going to work. We cannot funnel everybody to one area and expect things to just work out of the kindness and goodness of the human heart. That is some grade A delusion. I'm glad this event happened. I'm glad it happened because of how terrible it is. Because its terribility, is that even a word, terribility? Its terribility has shown to us that SIG really is struggling to get all of these MMO features and concepts, these basics even, these MMO basics down. They don't understand. Why is it? Is it because everybody's on Squadron 42? Is it because the people making the PU don't understand how MMO games are made? Or is it because the PU was never made with the framework to support an MMO in the first place? And what they're doing is trying to shoehorn MMO features and design into a structure or a frame that doesn't support it to begin with. Like the mission system. It's terrible. The mission system wasn't made for this. The mission system was made back when the game had, 50 people on a server doing things? Of course it wasn't an issue. But now you have 700 plus people, and that's a good thing. That's not bad. I want to see the size go up even more. But you can't just snap your fingers and go, okay, our game's an MMO now, and the existing systems that we have, they're going to support that. They're going to turn this into an MMO. It doesn't work that way. And we're seeing that right now on full display for the entire world. The next question I would ask is this game a theme park, or is it a sandbox, or is it a mixture of both? Because it's not really ticking any of the boxes for either type of game. At this point, personally, I just want them to pick one and go with it. I don't care. I don't care if it's a theme park. I don't care if it's a sandbox. I just want something that works. I want them to pick a lane. I want them to stick to it. If this was a sandbox event, why did they get rid of all the various ways to get the material for the people to do the cargo? I would think that I could just go, yeah, sure, you could maybe go mine it, but what about all the other systems? What about picking up the cargo at distant stations, or maybe grabbing it in pyro and bringing it back in bulk? What about those bounty missions where you used to be able to do bounties, whether it was for Vaughn or for the lawful bounty hunters, and oftentimes there would be cargo holds full of the materials that are needed for this event? Well, I'll tell you what happened. They removed them. They got rid of all that stuff. So they took a step down the route of theme park. But have you ever played a theme park game where it puts you on a time-limited mission that's shared with everybody else on the server? That is completely bonkers. That's like playing World of Warcraft. God, I hate that game. But that's like playing World of Warcraft and you go out to do your Argent Dawn dailies out in Icecrown, and only 10 people out of 800 on your faction can do the quest at a time. So you have to sit there and wait. Because that's what's happening right now in Star Citizen. That same level of insanity. So which is it? What's it going to be, Sig? Are you going to make a sandbox? Are you going to make a theme park? Pick one and do it right. Because at this point, I don't even know what the game's trying to be. And hey, we haven't even gotten to the base building or the crafting or any of these other systems. So you expect me to believe that these other, seemingly on paper, more complicated and organic systems are just going to quote-unquote work when they're implemented, when something as simple and trivial as pulling cargo up and out of an elevator, moving it somewhere, and putting it down an elevator just does not work. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.